Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a chatty video, so I suggest you go ahead, you grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, have water here, maybe also grab something to eat, and let's get started. First of all, hi, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Flor. I'm a content creator based here in New York and I create videos around life in the city. I'm guessing that if you are watching this video, you probably already know who I am, but just in case that you don't and this video just appeared on your YouTube homepage, go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell if you're still not subscribed, and you can also go ahead and follow me on Instagram as Pereira, as you're going to see right here. So what I wanted to do today was sort of a live update, let's catch up, chatty video. I wanted to share what's been going on in the past few days, few weeks, also why I've been missing from YouTube for about a month. And also I wanted to share what's next, what's coming up for the second part of the year. So we're almost ending the first half of 2024. So it's a great time for a recap. So first of all, why I was gone, where I've been, what's been going on in my life. So the truth is that I had been posting very regularly since I came back to YouTube at the beginning of the year, but I was filming, editing, and posting all in the same week, which is a problem, and it means that if anything happens, you don't have a backup plan and there's no video going up. And that's kind of what happened. So I posted my last video, the one with the Jellycat lunch and the visit to the FIT museum at the end of May, and just a few days after that, on May 31st, we went abroad on our first vacation with Julia, with our daughter since she was born. So I didn't manage to film or edit anything before going on holidays, and that's how I missed one upload. And then when I came back, again, didn't have enough time, missed another upload. And then the week that I was supposed to get back into filming and editing, which was last week actually, I got COVID. I got COVID for the third time. I got it in 2022, 2023, and now in 2024. So not nice, but life happens. So that's why I've been missing for almost 4 weeks here on YouTube. But good thing is that, first of all, I'm back. I feel like one way or another, I usually take like 2 breaks a year on YouTube, one around the end of the year, like Christmas and New Year's and my birthday, and then usually happens again around like June or July, like middle of the year. But the good news is that I'm finally back and that I'm healthy and finally tested negative for COVID about like 3 or 4 days ago. I then wanted to share a bit about our trip. This is something that I decided not to vlog for YouTube, but I have been posting some content on Instagram. So if you don't follow me already, you can go ahead, follow me there and watch all the content that I've been sharing. We really wanted to go to an all-inclusive resort where you have all the food and all the activities and everything like included in the price that you pay. After doing some research, we finally decided to go to the Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana, which is in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, and we were able to book that with points, which was great. I then reached out to the hotel and asked them if they wanted to collaborate, and they liked the idea. They gave us an upgrade. So we really had a great time. If you saw the videos on my Instagram, you saw the happy anniversary sign that was on our door, and that's because we were actually there on May 31st, which was our wedding anniversary. So we spent this like first 4 or 5 days of June over there. I was actually like late posting to Instagram about this trip just because when I was there, I really wanted to be present, to be in the moment and take pictures, take videos of course, but only post when I was back. So I was actually able to like be there and enjoy and not be worried about what's going live and what I needed to post and all that. But we really had a great time. Again, go ahead and watch everything on Instagram if you haven't already. The third thing that I wanted to talk about, and that I think it's a great thing to sort of discuss now that we are doing this recap of the first half of the year, has to do with a fitness update, with a health update in a way. I've shared a bit of this on a previous video, but at the beginning of the year, I decided that I wanted to get in a better shape. I wanted to be healthier and fitter, you know, like be able to go up the downstairs when taking the subway and not be out of breath, be able to play with Julia, to follow her around, to go up and down and do all that and not feel like I'm dying or like really out of breath. But also I've had this like love-hate relationship with running for, I would say, most of my life. I never liked running. I used to say that I hated running, and funny enough, my husband and I, we met because he helped me train for a run for an 8K. So that's like a funny thing. But I feel like even after that and him being a runner, I was never really into running until the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, we were living in Germany. This was 2020. And as you probably know, and probably happened to you as well, I feel like exercise and being outside when it was possible and when it was safe was like a way of keeping everyone sane. And it was certainly the same for me. I feel like being able to run outside really kept me sane and helped me get through the early stages of the pandemic in 2020. I started back there in Germany this program. It's called C25K. It was the first time that I was doing it. It's a 9-week program, so about 2 months. And the idea is that you get from the couch, so basically zero, nothing, no exercise, to 5K, to running 5 kilometers. I would say that it's not really possible to get to 5K in the span of 9 weeks. In the first week, you run just 1 minute, and then on week 9, you are running for 30 minutes nonstop. So really what this program helps you do and what it enables you to do is to be able to run for 30 minutes straight, no stopping, which if you have like a good pace, you can run for 5 kilometers. In my case, I run about like 3.5 kilometers, which is not 5, but it's a good pace. So I did that program for the first time in Germany. I then kept on running for a while, but when we moved back to New York at the end of 2019, I tried to get back into running, try doing this program again. I did it for a few weeks, then I gave up, and then like on and off again. Then I got pregnant, so the amount of exercise that I could do and that I wanted to do because of how I was feeling kind of varied depending on the month and the trimester. And this year, I feel like being a year postpartum, like Julia having turned 1, I felt like I wanted to get back to feeling better with myself, with my body, with how healthy or how fit I am in a way. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this again. And I started this program, this Couch to 5K program again. I've been sharing lots of updates on Instagram, but I realized that I've never shared most of them here on YouTube. So right now, by the time I am filming this, I only have 1 week of the program left, which I cannot believe that I got to week 9. I just did week 8, day 3. I only have week 9, days 1, 2, and 3, which is when you're supposed to run for 30 minutes non-stop. And I've been running for like 28 minutes, so it's not really that different, but it means like ending the program and getting to this goal of mine of being able to run for 30 minutes, which I know might sound like really silly or really easy for some people, but definitely not for me. If you asked me in January, I would not have been able to run for 30 minutes, and now I can. So that's like pretty good news. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but my idea is to be able to run not only 5 kilometers at some point this year, but ideally get to 10 kilometers by the end of the year. I don't know if that is possible because I know we're in June right now and I'm at 3. I don't know, 10 seems like a really long like stretch away, but maybe I can do it. But I wanted to share this journey here because this was one of my goals that I set at the beginning of the year, and I talked in my first video of the year. I'll link it up here if you want to go ahead and watch it. One of them was to be able to run, and I am honestly really proud at myself because I really like held myself responsible. It's very easy sometimes to say, oh, I'm tired, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too early, it's too late, my feet hurt, my head hurts, or whatever. And you really need to be strong and have willpower and say, I don't care if it's raining, I'm running. I don't care if I'm tired, I'm running. I don't care if I have an early morning thing tomorrow, I'm running. And I feel like I did that. And even though I had breaks and weeks where I didn't run and days that I had to do over 1 or 2 times because I had like lost my momentum, I feel like being able to stick with this for the past few months has been really amazing. And I've seen some progress in how I feel with my body and how I look and how I feel overall when it has to do with having a healthy body, having a strong body. I feel like we often criticize so much about ourselves and about our appearance, and having a healthy body and being able to get strong and grow older is a privilege. And what I mean by all this is that maybe you didn't start on like a fitness journey at the beginning of the year, but maybe you're watching this video now and you're thinking, okay, I want to be able to run as well, or I want to be able to play tennis, play pickleball, I don't know, play football, something, whatever that is, whatever that activity, that sport is for you, I would say go ahead, try it out. I feel like running is like really easy to get started with because you just need like a pair of running sneakers and like a safe space where you can run. So I would say try it maybe and let me know what you think about it. I leave a link to the C25K app that I use for running that guides you like you have to run now and you have to walk now and cool down and all that. And I'll also leave a playlist to my Taylor Swift running playlist on Spotify, which is what I use when I'm running and when I need like extra motivation because I'm dying. I use that and I try to run further and I try to run faster. So I wanted to share this update because I think it's something that I feel proud about and that I feel that could inspire you or some of you maybe as well. Let me know if you're thinking about running or what else you're doing down below in the comments. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, I wanted to do like a quick book update. This year I'm also trying to get back into reading. I didn't read as much last year, but this year I'm hoping to get to 24 books again. So that means about 2 per month. I'm on track, so let's see how that goes. But even though I want to do more book recommendations videos, I still wanted to share some of the books that I've read in case you're looking for something new. I have my list here. Of course, I won't remember every single name. Beginning of the year, first book that I read was The Woman on the Ledge. This was a great book, sort of a thriller, but very different from anything I've read before, so I highly recommend it. I'll link it down below in the description box, this book and all the others I'll mention. The other one that I read was The Stranger in the Mirror. This one was by Liv Constantine, which is a duo of sisters. I really didn't like this book as much. I've read, I think, 1 or 2 books by this same author and I liked them, but I thought they were kind of twisted, and this one is like way too twisted in my opinion, and it was not my favorite, but maybe it's your favorite. I'll leave the link down below in the description as well. Then I read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, which is part of the saga called the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. This is what's called romantasy, which means romance plus fantasy, and I don't think I've read anything like this since I read Twilight like 20 years ago or so. So I felt like this book was really not for me and I wouldn't like it, but I loved it. It's set in a world where there are dragons and there's this school of war where you learn to fight basically, and you can kind of like connect with a dragon and be a dragon rider. I'll talk more about it when I do like a video, but I would say go ahead, read these books. There are only 2 in the series right now, and I think there'll be either 4 or 5 in the end, but get started with it right now because these are probably 2 of my favorite books that I read in 2024. Since I liked Iron Flame and Fourth Wing, everyone told me that I should read A Court of Thorn and Roses, which some people name it ACOTAR because it's ACOTAR, A Court of Thorn and Roses all together. And I don't know, I don't think this saga is for me. I read the first one and I was really not convinced, and everyone told me the second one is the best one. You really need to give it another shot. Read the second one. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna read the second one. I'm gonna try it. And I didn't like the second one either. And I read the third and I didn't like that one. So I think this series is probably not for me. Being how I am probably going to finish the fourth one, and there's like a 4.5, I don't know, there are like 2 or 3 more books. I'll probably read those as well, but definitely not my favorites. But I'll talk more about it in a separate book recommendations video that's coming up at some point this year or next year. After that, I also read 2 books that we read during book club. One of them I've mentioned before. It's called Mad Honey. This one I really liked. It's a story about someone that dies, but there's also a lot of backstory. I learned a whole lot about bees and beekeeping, and I love that. And it has like a really big twist and a lot of information regarding that twist as well. I learned a lot with this book, and I feel like you should definitely read this one. The other one that we read for book club is called First Light Wins, and this one is also sort of a thriller. It's about someone that has like different identities because they work different jobs and they have like a mission and they report to a boss. I think it's a good book, but personally I felt like it was like written in like a very easy way sometimes. I don't really know how to explain it, but when I read that the author usually writes young adult and this was this person's first novel for adults, I was like, okay, this makes more sense, because the book gave me this like young adult vibes where you feel the need to explain everything like 2-3 times or use like easier vocabulary or things like that you don't often see as much when reading like adult novels. But nonetheless, I like it and I recommend it. And the last 2 books that I read, and that make a total of 11 with all of them, are Queen of Poisons. This is the 3rd book in a saga of the Marlowe Murder Club. I read the first and second one last year, if I'm not mistaken. I really like them. Probably my favorite books of last year. It's about a group of 3 women that become friends, and they're not the people that you would expect would be investigating and solving a murder mystery, but they are, and they're great at it. I don't know, the book has this like Agatha Christie vibes, Sherlock Holmes vibes, but more modern, and also having the unexpected like lead females. Really liked it. And the other one, the last one that I read, is called Here One Moment. This one is by Leah Moriarty, which you know I've read like 4 or 5 books. This one was not my favorite, but it's a good one. It's about a woman that apparently has the power to predict when you're going to die and how you're going to die, and some of these predictions start coming true, and it makes you wonder, what would you do differently if you know you had a certain amount of days or months to live? I love how Leah Moriarty always does like a mix of fantasy, I would say, because no one can really predict this, and also some of thinking about life and reflecting on your choices and your decisions. This one was an ARC. It's not coming out until September of this year of 2024, so you'll have to wait a little bit to read it, but I liked it, and I'll leave the link down below in case you want to pre-order it. One other thing that I wanted to talk about has to do with what's coming up next in terms of life and content. So for the next few days and next month, I would say like June, July, first of all, events coming up in the city. Summer is usually the season where there's a lot more going on in New York. All brands are like planning something, planning lunch, breakfast, dinners. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more influencer content if you like that type of vlogs coming up on YouTube, also on Instagram. We also have a trip coming up. I hope I get to plan ahead a bit more when this trip comes up, so I don't end up missing more uploads, which is not my idea. I plan on hitting every upload till the end of the year. And there's also book club coming up at the end of July, so I have another book that I'll be reading in the next few days or a few weeks. And when it comes to content here on YouTube, I plan on filming a video all about about what to do in New York City in summer, because summer is starting today, the day that I'm filming this video. Summer is starting here in New York, so I want you to have all the ideas, all the options, whether you are coming to New York City this year or if you're coming next year. But I would also love to know if you have any other ideas of things that you would love to see on my channel. I'm always in the search of new things to create content around, and I would love to hear your suggestions, your ideas. Let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to create content around that. And last but not least, I want to share that I've been working on launching a new business for a few months now. This is something that has been like on the back of my mind for a couple of years actually, and I've had this idea of what I wanted to do. And I don't know about you, but I'm someone that's always afraid of failing, always afraid of things going wrong, afraid of doing something new, doing something different, which is funny because when I started my blog 14 years ago, I just started and I didn't think much about it, and then it ended up being like a whole thing, and it grew and it turned into my career, and here we are right now. But I feel like now after that, I get very stressed when it comes to starting something new and launching something new and different. So that's where my mind has been and what I've been working on behind the scenes. I haven't shared this anywhere else, so this is like a big scoop here. But yeah, that's a plan. It's something that I wanted to launch earlier in the year. It hasn't happened since, but it's definitely in the works. I filed for a trademark at the beginning of the year in January, and I'm hoping that at least by the end of the year, will have launched some of the business or part of it. It's like a whole process. If you want to know more, I'll be happy to do like a series on like launching a business. I feel like it's very niche, but maybe some of you would be interested in that, and the trademark process and the different things that I've been going through and things that you need to do and to file or buy or register or everything like about that. I hope that I get to share more in the next few weeks or the next few months. I leave the link to the business site down below in the description. If you went ahead and you want to sign up for updates, it'll be down there in the description. And I feel like that's everything that I wanted to share. I made myself like a list, of course, everything that I wanted to share on this video. I am one person that really loves lists when it comes to things that I need to do. And I see that I've talked about everything, so that's great. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know that this is the type of content that if you have been here for a few months or a few years, you probably like watching. I love watching my favorite YouTubers talk about life and what they've been up to and what they're going to do next. But maybe you are a new subscriber and you discover this video and you stick right through the end, so thank you about that as well. If you got to the end of this video, go ahead, leave a comment down below, leave a red heart emoji, red as my blazer, so I know that you got to the end of this video. And as I mentioned before, if you're still not subscribed already, go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so you can get notified of every time I upload a new video. And you can also go ahead and follow me on Instagram as Pereira, as you're going to see right here. I would love to hear your comments, to hear your suggestions, to hear your ideas in the comments down below, whether it would be about the books that I read, the books that you've been reading, things that you would love to see here on my YouTube channel. You can also let me know if you've ever been to Punta Cana, if you have been to an all-inclusive resort, what you thought about that. Also, let me know if you're on a fitness journey, if you're trying to run a 5K or a 10K or something like that. And I would also love to know if you would like to know more about this, like launching a business updates and what the process looks like and all that. That is going to be it for today's video. I really hope you liked it, really hope you enjoyed it, and as I always say, I will see you on the next one. Bye! Dive bar on the east side, where you at?